Where? Well, I mean, it's going to vary widely. We
Boston?
have Boston, I'm guessing, and it's purely a guess because no one really knows, that we're probably talking on the lower end. If you look back at statistics, first of all, you have to remember that Boston, because of the number of renters in the city, tenants in the city, tends to have a very high number of people who are eligible to vote. That is, they're carried on the rolls, they voted last year, or they participated last year, and they carried on the rolls. In the best of circumstances, such as, for instance, the open seat for mayor we had 4 years ago, even though there were probably hundreds of thousands of persons eligible, we only had about 142,000 people actually vote in a very intense race. As statistics will verify, when you have less intense races, the numbers go down. Looking back over the most recent races, 2009, 2005, my projection is that it's probably a floor of about 90,000. It could be a little less than that, could be a little more. We had about 58,000 in the preliminary, and you know, it's going to increase over that, of course, but how much it's going to increase is hard to project. Amongst the factors that are contributing to the Boston situation is a number of the city council district races are uncontested. We have 3 open seats, which normally will add to the turnout, and I think it will. But we also, and we have a few contested seats. The city council large race, which in past elections has been a contributing factor if there were intense races, doesn't seem quite as intense this year. All of the incumbents are seeking re-election. A number of them have expended significant amounts of money, and the challenges haven't put as much up. And the mayoral race, I think you've all observed it and covered it, so I think it speaks for itself.
What about Lawrence?
Lawrence, we expect a fairly brisk turnout. We have a rematch going in Lawrence between Mayor Rivera and former Mayor Lantigua. We have been involved in Lawrence in the past. It's a very intense race, of course, and there are local races, I should say, in Lawrence as well. My office has been in regular contact with Lawrence. In fact, we paid Lawrence a visit last week. We met with, not only did we meet with the local election officials to review their protocols, we also met with the campaign and the representatives of both the mayoral candidates simultaneously. The objective was to prevent any issues arising during election day. We hope that none will. We think everyone knows the conduct rules on election day, and we hope people will.
Yes. And that's all.
Yeah, that's a guess. And I'm saying to you that that's the number that comes into view. As I said, this is not complicated. 4 years ago, we had 142 with probably as intense a race as you could get for mayor. 4 years before that, a moderately race, that was the last Menino term. I'm going to do this from memory, but I'm going to tell you it was like 111, 109, so it was over 100. But that was a different race. It had a fairly active preliminary with 2 city councils running. 1 city councilor emerged. He joined forces with the other city councils, so it was kind of an interesting race. And then 4 years before that, we had a challenge from the time city councilor Hannigan to Mayor Menino. At the time, she, unexpectedly, I think, to a lot of people, she both spent a lot of her own personal money to run a campaign, and she had a couple of very vigorous debates with the then mayor. And we had a turnout, I think I'm going to tell you it was like 96, 97. All right, contrast all of those things with now.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of money being spent by anybody. We don't have intense down the ballot races. We don't have the same level of intensity. So what does that suggest? It suggests something less than that 97,000 or 96,000, whatever it is. So I'm saying 90 might be a nice place. I saw in the Globe piece that lined out all the past ones, and they had a couple of races that had sort of some similarities to this. We're going way back to 01 and things like that, and they had like 88,000. So again, it's clustering around that 90,000 number.
Do you know what the percentage would be if it's 90?
The problem with percentages, first of all, you can't really compare percentages to 2001. Secondly, as I always point out, percentages reflect the number of people who are eligible, because we're coming off a very intense presidential election, where a lot of people who happen to live in Boston this time last year decided they had to vote and registered to vote. They still carried on the list, and it would skew your percentages. I think if you look at the raw numbers, it's a much better way to do it.